Hi, this is Doug Standard with Fearless Presentations. Hey, one of the things that people ask us about most often as public speaking instructors is, where does public speaking fear come from, right? And how do you conquer it? Well, if you understand where the fear comes from, it makes it a whole lot easier to actually conquer that fear. I'll give you some examples here. Anytime that you're trying a skill, especially if you're trying the skill for the first time, where there is some type of risk of failure or injury or death, then we're going to feel a whole lot more nervous about that particular thing, especially if the risk of failure deals with embarrassment. And that's why public speaking fear is so traumatic for a lot of people. But it's not the only skill set that we have in our lives that we have to conquer in order to be successful. So like, for instance, when you're 15 years old and you're learning to drive a car, it's very similar. The very first time that you get into a car and you're trying to drive it, if you start out on the freeway, you're going to be way more nervous than if you start off in a parking lot. And that's one of the things that a lot of times folks will kind of realize as they're training new drivers how to drive, is you start off on a Saturday or Sunday morning in a high school parking lot, something like that, where there's really very little risk. There's still some risk, but very little risk. And that's one of the reasons why people tend to prefer to go to a class like Fearless Presentations class, because it's a controlled environment. It's an environment where you can practice and you can succeed. And once you master a specific skill, you can try a new skill. And that's basically the process that we go through. In the 2-day Fearless Presentations class, what we do is we will teach you a new skill set, something that is fairly simple in the beginning, and let you master that part. It's kind of, going back to the driving metaphor, it's like going to the parking lot and practicing just parking. So there's very little risk of failure. And then once you succeed in that particular skill set, then we give you something a little bit more complicated. And then we give you something a little bit more complicated. And then we give you something a little bit more complicated. And every time we increase the complexity and you have a success, your confidence shoots through the roof, right? And that's the whole point. So basically, in that 2-day public speaking class, you're going to have a series of about 8 to 10 successes in front of a group. And every time you have one of those successes, your confidence is boosted dramatically. So basically, what we invite you to come to the 2-day Fearless Presentations class. You can look for a class that's in your area. We offer these about every 2-3 months in major cities all over the United States. We also do them in Europe and other places around the world. So if you really want to conquer that public speaking fear, or conquer that fear, that nervousness that you have when you stand up in front of a group, attend that 2-day public speaking class and go through this process.